There was a great famine in the world, and I had almost forgotten about it. My daily routine included stopping and having a sandwich when I got hungry. I had a farm and a kitchen. I kept it stocked with the basic food I need. Famine and starving became a distant thought in my mind. Even at Neil King, I had started with a kitchen and a farm to make sure I would never go hungry. I sold my veg to the villagers and they ate. Famine was as far from my mind as all the poor people suffering it. I think we all take for granted the food on our table. But I could start making a difference. Now then, welcome back to another episode of A Druid's Tale on the Magic Farm 3 mod pack. Today I got back from doing some stuff over at the village and came over here and realised that I was out of food in my lunchbox. Out of food. Now normally I come over here and I take 8 of each of these sandwiches and just like this, if I can get 8 of each very quickly. Just get 8 of each sandwich. Right, this is automatically refilling, or so I thought. And I take something like 8 of the seed soup, nice and simple there, and maybe 8 bits of bread. Just some staggering of things. And as you may or may not know, with the lunchbox, if you fill each of these slots, these 6 slots, with 6 different food types, and it only stacks as 8, then that is basically going to be able to feed you the most nourishing of foods in the game, as it were, in the mod pack, all the time. Now, I hate running out of my food in my lunchbox. I don't particularly like this, you've got to eat so many different types of foods. I'm kind of a Minecraft player who just wants to eat steak all day, every day. But in this mod pack, we've got that spice of life. So we've got to eat multiple different types of things. And when I first started building this house, this was going to be the kitchen level up here. So I want to do a bit of work in the kitchen just to give me that selection of foods that's always available. Now, I don't know, it's got to be like, I don't know, 20 odd episodes, 20, nearly 30 episodes since I built this. So it's been a while, and what I've been doing with this is coming along and manually refilling it with charcoal to make all the things work. I've got a little farm up above using progressive automation crop planters and harvesters, and I just keep refueling them. So this one in particular is sugarcane, so it needs a flint mattock for the harvesting, and it needs that. It needs all of these things to keep it processing the foodstuffs. And I've got Steve's workshop stuff doing auto crafting for me. And that's basically how I've been running it so far. But every time I come back and I have to do the maintenance side of things, changing the matlocks and filling it up with charcoal, I can find it's a little bit of a slowdown, especially if this is starting to run down, which is why I haven't been doing it for a while and just letting the stocks run down. What I want to do is come up with a bit more of a solution. This was always supposed to be kind of a warehouse kitchen. So I've started sort of defining an area where all of the mechanics of the farming section gets done, and all that auto crafting can get put into this section and stay in this section. And I'm going to redefine it a little bit, chop it down and redefine it a little bit. First thing is a charcoal supply. I mean, these take, I think they can take an RF. I was looking at them earlier. I think they can take an RF, but they take a charcoal, right? And these planters can also take an RF, but they mainly take charcoal. So I'm trying to think of a charcoal distribution system for starters. And the first stage of that is to make a charcoal farm. Previously, I've made a charcoal farm in a very small way, a minor charcoal farm, over here to supply some bits and pieces downstairs, down hither. And that charcoal farm is another fairly sluggish one. It's got 13 stacks of charcoal at the minute, but it gets a little charcoal farm up there, and then it takes these things and makes charcoal for me. And then I take the charcoal from this barrel here and go and do whatever I need with it. And it also has power into these survivalist generators so I get a basic power supply over here for when I want to do some bits and pieces crafting wise. That also powers the machines up there that are making my building supplies all the time. All from way back in the early stages of this series. And I want to expand on that today. So the first things first, I'm going to make another one of these tree farms. This one currently is running maple for its thing, but it also takes charcoal. And I've been adding the charcoal there and adding the fertilizer there to make it run in batches when I wanted it to, and stop when I don't. And I've been doing healthy supplies, just getting supplies of things. At the minute we're getting a healthy supply of maple logs, because I quite like the maple looking log. So we're doing maple at the minute. I've already done a fair amount for jungle. Well, I think I did a fair amount, but I don't seem to have many. 20 jungle saplings left. I must have used all that jungle wood up for a while. We've got loads and loads of birch wood and absolutely tons of spruce wood. I was around the area when I was doing spruce, so I got tons of spruce wood and tons of spruce saplings. So I'm also thinking of a way to use up the saplings from the farm. If I run a farm like this constantly, then I'm going to be getting wood, which I can turn into charcoal constantly. And I'm going to be getting saplings left over because it never uses all the saplings it generates. So like I've got a full drawer there of 512 red spruce saplings and a barrel of 28 stacks of saplings there. And I don't really want those 28 stacks of saplings just sitting there doing nothing. So I need to process those. Now, one of the things that is come up in my search of uses for saplings is fuel. Yeah, you can just use them for fuel for one thing. But also, there is using them for fermenting in forestry down into biomass, so that you can then use biofuel generators and the like. That generates biomass. But also the Mine Factory Reloaded biomatter, or bioreactor, making biofuel. And if I generate biofuel in a bioreactor, then there's things that I can use that biofuel for to generate power. And that is a very green, economical, eco-friendly way of producing power. So that's another thing I want to set up. I've had a look out here, and when I was building this whole cliff face area, I did actually have something down here, which I did. I left this area here that I filled in. I did this cliff face along here, so it looked cool. And I left this room here thinking, this is a space, this is a good space I could do something with. I'm thinking that putting this as my bioreactor would be quite cool. Also, things like dealing with chemical sewage and stuff. Yeah, all the healthy things. I was going to have a bioreactor in there anyway. So I've got a few things to craft. I haven't really made start on the crafting yet, and I don't really want to just sit here recording all the crafting side of things, because that would be a whole episode of me just crafting. Two of the things that we need to get sorted are the farms. I think I'm going to get 2 farms. I'm going to get 2 of these farms. One of these farms is for the whole production of wood and saplings to then use those for fuel. And one is going to be for making foodstuffs. Well, hopefully that's enough tin. I just literally ran out of tin. Used up all of my tin supplies, and tin reserves are going to need to do a bit of mining. I think I need to do a bit of mining. Just grab these while I'm here. I always grab these while I'm coming through just in case, but I haven't been grabbing them just the last few days. You know how I occasionally need a load of experience to do something? Well, I keep filling that barrel up every time I come through here to get the resources. I haven't been mining for ages. I've been managing without because I've got so much supply already. Let's throw some of that in there. Right, I need, let's take another 4, yeah, and 2 lead. Right, I'm nearly there with the overall basic startup, at least. Anyway, the basic startup. Let's see if we've got this set up over here. There we go. Yes, 4 bronze tubes. Okay, can I take that and then get rid of all this? Yes, good. And there's some more tin there. That's nice to know. Right, I did make a lot of tin electrum tubes. Potentially too many. And each set of 4 takes, what is it, 5? Yeah, 5 tin. So each set of 4 takes 5 tin. And I kind of used up too much tin in the processing in the thermomic fabricator. Now that's dead. Let's put that there. Can you take this? Yeah, you can. Can you take this? Yeah, you can. Okay, so I'll stock these up there and then move it back to it. The trouble with, machines from forestry is they take RF constantly. So you have to find ways of turning them off. But down over here, this is what I've got set up so far. 2 farms up above, separated by dirt. Important to separate it by something that isn't a stone brick, because otherwise the farm tries to spread out to this farm and so on. This one currently is running, but it's all just set itself up with dirt for tree farming. And what I want it to do is set itself up with wheat farm, crop farm. There we go. So a managed farm or manual farm, doesn't really matter. Managed farm will do, and pop that in there, and that should give me the circuit board for managed farms. And if I put that into there, that should switch what it's doing from... Oh, it started changing dirt. Is it? No, it's not moving dirt around. I'm going to have to go up there and sort that out. It's changed from doing the same as this one, which is trees. And this is pretty much full now as well. Dang it. Trees into wheat. Yes. So there'll be a tree farm and a wheat farm on a large area. I'll go up there and show you in a minute. I've been using my reserve saplings, those redwood saplings that red spruce saplings that I had loads of spare. And they work very, very quickly and efficiently in this bioreactor. The bioreactor receives them and processes them so fast. It's amazing. So fast to make this biofuel. And then the biofuel goes into a biofuel generator, sits in here and just generates plenty. It's getting a nice little backlog at the minute from this farm because the farms don't use a lot. And as you can see, it's creating a lot because it's a big farm. So all this spruce wood that I'm creating here, let's take out a little bit so it doesn't overstock itself. We'll leave a little bit in for checking out in a bit. No inventory space. Yeah, that was it. The red spruce saplings come into here, and immediately there's a whitelist on this servo that pulls it out. Its first location is to go into the bioreactor, but if it fills up the bioreactor, then it'll start coming down to this excess stock barrel. I was thinking a little while ago, because I do have an issue with saplings from that farm falling into this farm and getting sucked up. But now I've changed that, I don't think I will have that issue. Let's go on upstairs and see what it's running as. I also need to get myself some seeds, so actually let's go up and do it crafty like. Let's go and get some seeds. I'll just use basic wheat seeds and let it run itself. They're fairly efficient without needing agrocraft to have 10-10-10s for the wheat stock and all that, which is pretty good. Pretty good already. Okay, so yeah, it has started changing itself around. It's manually placed the water, or it's placed the water where it feels like. I don't really mind so much that it's not like a symmetry. I've got no issues with the symmetry of it all. We'll just let it get on with it, eh? Right, so now if I put the seeds in there, it will begin planting. Yes, there we go. Begins planting those seeds out. I've got loads more of wheat seeds lying around all over the place. But wheat now will start growing. So as wheat grows, it will get harvested, hopefully. I haven't tested this out on this type of farm yet. I know that those farms can do wheat. Normally, you can't plant wheat without having the crops from agrocraft. You can't plant anything without the crops from agrocraft. But forestry farm can get around that already, so that's good. I don't need to place crops everywhere. The tree farm, look how fast the trees are growing, man. It's got quite some size on it. So it fills out very, very quickly and fills it all up very, very quickly. And lots of saplings get produced by these trees because these spruce trees tend to produce a fair amount of saplings. And in some cases, we can have the 2x2 trees growing. Mostly, I've only seen the 1x1s. like the one wide, not the big trunky ones, but the big trunky ones is a possibility. So we'll see if that happens. I don't really mind if it doesn't, to be honest. Another thing I checked was sugarcane. Is sugarcane biomatter? And sugarcane does not appear to be biomatter, according to these biomatter machines. So I was going to do sugarcane and wheat to take those two farms that I've been using for food and put them into one farm down here. But instead, we're just going to have a wheat farm. So what I'm going to do with the wheat is I'm going to transport it up to the house and split it down into just about every possible thing you can do with wheat. But for right now, we're working on the charcoal side of things, so I get a good supply of charcoal. And what I was thinking was just literally having a normal vanilla smeltery setup, really. I don't really see the point in having a power unit, a power system, smelting it all up, because the farm's consistent enough not for me to have to worry about those kind of things, I don't think. Do I already have any furnaces? I got 2 furnaces already. And I may as well just feed directly into the furnaces via the item ducts. I think that's a thing. And what about the charcoal then? Have I got any more of these? Yeah, I've got some more item ducts there. I don't need the power. I don't need the fluid. I've got open item ducts. Don't know why I made those. Maybe I got those from something else really early on and I've tried not to use them. We shall see. And, oh, I need a chest or a tub as well to carry them in. I didn't want 2. I only want 1 for the charcoal. Okay. Oh, actually, should I have an overflow? I should probably have an overflow as well. Let's have an overflow. Right, so let us begin. Okay, so the first stage is pretty simple. Have an output from the farm, and that outputs the sand and the wood. Now, as the dirt gets used up, it turns into sand, and that's a byproduct of the farm. You don't get a lot of it, but you do get a bit of it. So I've had to make a barrel there to accept sand from the farm, and also accept wood from the farm. Okay, and we know that the saplings come out this way from the farm. So that's set up there, and then the wood comes into this barrel and goes around and feeds into the top of all my furnaces. So my furnaces just receive wood from the top very, very easily. Very, very simply. And yeah, I don't know why there isn't one more in there. I don't know why it's not cooking the last one, but never mind. And then we've got this extraction from down here, which is extracting always. Yeah, always extracting. Extracting from underneath, which is the output of a vanilla furnace. Bringing it up and around the back here, and then going into the back of all the furnaces. And the back of the furnaces are the input for fuel. So the top is the input for the furnace to cook, and the back is the input for the furnace to use as fuel, and the bottom is the output from the furnace in vanilla format. And then this item duct comes round this way, and then I'm just going to connect it up to here, but I'm going to disconnect it from that one there, and it's going to then come down into this, which is a sorting connector. I'm going to put a basic chest on the sorting connector, get rid of that. So now it's coming down from there, going around up the back, feeding the furnaces with charcoal, and then any leftover charcoal will come down into here as a final resting place. So charcoal coming into here. Now I've connected that up with the rest of the deal, so it sorts itself out immediately as soon as it arrives in that chest. I've got sorting connectors running under the floor down here, all the way down here under the floor, and up and out this way. So it actually goes up into the house above by going through the back door this way. Well, kind of a back door, because it's too close to the wall here. So in order to get it to go all the way up there, I had it in this section of wall. So this section of wall could still look all okay, right? So it's literally just behind the wall here. Also, you'll see that I've got like a coving all the way around the outside now. That's because upstairs I've put some sorting connectors in as well. So now the charcoal as it's produced will go into there and zoom around the refined relocation system all the way around, so it can come into here because I connected up to the back here as well. So I could put charcoal into any chest around here and it will go to the charcoal supply up there. And I've taken this up here to this place, and now this is where all the charcoal goes. So just let's double check the theory, make sure that that last connection worked right. If I put some charcoal in here, it will disappear from here and go into the sorting system and be sorted out back up to here. Right? So this is now my charcoal barrel, and its supply is right there. I can drop other things away in here to put them away, and they will disappear back off to wherever they came from. As well, I've got a dump chest. This refined relocation sorting system is awesome. What I've done is I've put it all the way around the outer walls, so not to fill the path there, so that I can have another sort of storage section up here for foodstuffs. So I can store all my foodstuffs around here, and any chest that I put foodstuffs in will end up putting it away in the kitchen. Just simply enough, I can just come along to any sorting chest, dump everything I've got in my inventory, and it should go to where I need it to go. All part of the warehousing side of things, like just down here where I connected everything up together. It's going to be the similar sort of thing for food upstairs. Hopefully, it's all going to work out nicely. The whole base being connected up by refined relocation is an interesting concept that I'm quite enjoying the results of. It kind of gives you that vanilla that you've got things stored in certain locations, unlike an applied energistic central terminal, which I also like a hell of a lot. Applied energistic central terminal is probably the best form of storage system ever in the world. But this allows us to have areas that keep our storage separate. So in here, I'm just going to have piping that goes up to the ceiling and across into the automation area to power all the farms and all the machines and things with charcoal directly. So going back to what we said at the start of the episode, I want to put charcoal into the Steve's factories, Steve's workshop should I say, and charcoal into the planters to keep the farms running, so that all of this gets run from this power supply. And the next thing I need to do is hook up wheat, so that wheat goes into the system as well. So as wheat gets produced from this farm, the wheat will come upstairs. I've got to patch all this in as well. But as wheat comes up into this area, I can have wheat coming into this corner. And I can have this corner of the place a little bakery corner or something like that. But maybe we'll get to that next episode, because we're kind of running out of time today. I hope you enjoyed. I didn't want to do too much crafting and building of machines together in this episode. But you can see crafting recipes and you can see how things work, so you know how I've done things and you can figure it out for yourselves. See, that's now full of biofuel and energy, and that will start making a buffer of as well, I should think. Yes. Yeah, we should start filling up a buffer now and leaving that spare. That will stay full. It seems to be catching up with itself, keeping up with itself, and I've not really got through all of my red spruce saplings, but I will throw a few more in there soon enough. And that farm should then keep running indefinitely, making charcoal indefinitely. All I need to do every now and again is get some dirt out of here. Which, now I've got the refined relocation, I could potentially have a little something here that has dirt storage and send dirt directly into it that way. I don't know yet. Maybe down here so it sends it up into that farm hatch. Who knows? We will see. Thank you all very, very much for watching this episode of A Druid's Tale. I will see you next episode for some more fancy kitchen gardening. English country garden? I don't know about that. But I'll be doing some more in the kitchen next episode. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.